Hello, I'm Jamie McEwan,
Hello, I'm Gregor McEwan.
and welcome to the McEwan Brothers podcast.
Here we discuss life, comedy, money, and much more, not only with us, but with guests.
So have a listen, hopefully you'll learn something, and if not, you'll at least have a giggle. And hope you guys enjoy. Peace out.
Just as this week, so let's get started.
Welcome to today's podcast from the McEwan Brothers. My name's Jamie, I am the youngest brother, and with me today we have Gregor, the middle one. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Gregor, and I am the middle child, I guess, middle of the brothers. There's 3 of us in total, 2 of us here. So yeah, welcome to the podcast.
So to elaborate on that, we do have an older brother who is currently on the other side of the world doing his own thing, but hopefully we'll have him on a couple of episodes with us together and we can all just join in with our chat. So let's just get started into it. So today's episode is basically going to be split into 3 sections, 3 different topics. So today's about property, comedy, and sport. The first question is basically why is property attractive? What's attractive about the properties, the market, and people, the desire to own something such as a piece of land? So, Greg, I'll fire the question straight to you. What's attractive? What makes property attractive to you?
So let's see, property. I think property is quite attractive because, well, first of all, if you view it in the eyes of like an investment, then it opens your mindset to a different aspect of what property can do for you. So, you can use it as a way of building a income. So you can get a monthly income depending on if you buy the property and you rent it out. You also use it as to build your asset base. So effectively, instead of, everybody needs a house, instead of renting or, instead of doing this kind of aspect where you're just spending money to get a roof over your head, you can effectively pay down your investment or your mortgage, which basically you should see in the long term.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're paying money for a mortgage or whatever, but you could then rent out a room and all these sort of things and actually get additional income. So that's why I see it as an attractive investment. Yeah, there's many aspects to it. What's your opinion, Jerry?
I think my view on it is that everyone wants to get old enough and they're either wanting to settle down or they want to move out from their parents. It's the first goal: finish uni or finish your education or start getting a decent job that's earning you a bit of money. They're thinking get yourself a property, start getting the mortgage, and settling down in that terms. But I think me and you are on the same page, as we've talked about many times. That's not the only thing you can do. There's so many other options in the aspect of buy to lets and stuff like that, and renting the property and using your money for other purposes.
Yeah, no, that's a good point you raised. Like, I know people who've got, our age, or whatever, and bought a property. And I'm coming up to mid-20s, you're just in your 20s and have the first property, but they're just living in it. And I guess me and you see it as more an investment. And if you're living at home, I'm living in Edinburgh and renting, taking the approach of the first property, or your bike, taking advantage of all the government schemes for your first property, and using that as an investment, we think is better for long term, right?
I think obviously talking about Gregor, we've got to let the audience know, we've got the government have put out schemes out there to basically help people get on the ladder so they can get a property. As it's getting harder and harder, the average house down in London is currently set at 500,000, I'm sure. I was just reading an article on it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Say that it's a minimum of 10 years salary. Down from the average salary, it's 10 years you need of a salary to save up to get a deposit down on a property down in London. And that's just crazy. These sort of numbers are just, not good enough. So that's why people started venturing out. And I think obviously this lockdown, people think, well, there's better value in other areas to move out and stuff and do that sort of aspect.
I think like London gets a lot of stuff from the news, from the coverage, just by the size of the place. And it's financial hotspot. It's a top tourist destination in the UK and these sort of aspects. So yeah. I think it's an outlier in itself. So yeah, like what you're saying, there's a lot of other opportunities elsewhere.
Yeah, and another thing what I was going to go and say was obviously the Help to Buy scheme, which me and Gregor got ourselves into. The government's basically puts 25% towards basically helping us put a deposit down on our property.
Are we assuming that people know this already? Or are we educate people on this, Jimmy? What's our angle?
I think it's just good to talk about it. Just it's a good point. People might not know about it, not be aware of it. So, if you're listening to this, I hope you're obviously learning something as well as just listening into us and taking in knowledge what we know.
The scheme that we have is no longer available.
Yeah, but there's other schemes that have been brought out since then, and there's other schemes that are coming out.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. Do you?
So the other one is, I think it's 15 or 20%. It's not as much as 25 to help. It's an England-based one. It's not a Scottish-based one. So we've got a Scottish Help to Buy, and you've also got the Lisas. But I'm not even this Lisas. I'm not even sure of how they're running now. Me and you didn't go into them. We went into the Help to Buy. But basically, just you saying that there's tons of options out there for the government are trying to help you to get new buildings, and they are trying to get you be able to get a deposit on a property. You know, it's not just I need to make sure I've got exact that amount of money. You know, there's things out there that you can use to help.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what's important, I guess, from us is do the research and make sure you're saving. You have that additional money coming in that you're putting aside to it. That'll help you. The sooner you start, the better we'll be off with that.
Yeah, definitely. It's like so like the account that we have is basically like the max you can do a month is £200 away a month. So it's like they do have a cap on it, so you can't just like basically just put tons and tons of money into it and expect the government to pay out £1,000. I think it's 15,000.
Well, yeah,
12 and a half.
12,000, and then they top up by 25, so then you get max 15. So 3,000 added on,
which is pretty good, to be fair. It's fair.
I think it's good. Like, take advantage of what you can get. And at the end of the day, it's like it's technically free money, and it's going to help you. So there's little argument to not use it, even if you're like, oh yeah, it's not going to make much of a difference. But if I were to say here's £50 or so, £50 or £75, you take the extra one, even though it's small amounts you've only put in.
I think the aspect of the people who, so like obviously for us, Gregor, we are going for a property to buy to let is what we're looking at, and we've spent a long period of time investing and putting the time and effort into researching that route, and we have understand that obviously if you're wanting to go down that route, these Help to Buy schemes don't allow it. It has to be for basically people who are looking to buy. Obviously, there's the loopholes that we've looked into where you can buy it and you've got like rent a room scheme and you've got other things you can help, which I think is going to make a massive difference. So if you are looking into it, there's a lot of different ways you can get around things.
I'd agree. I mean, definitely opportunities. I guess the hardest part is just getting the first one in there.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll move on from the property talk. It's not the most interesting of talks to go on from, is it? So what we'll do is we'll talk about the next kind of question we have for today is comedy. So comedy is who doesn't like having a good laugh? So Gregor, what's been making you laugh, smile this week? Is there anything in particular you've seen, watched, listened to give you a wee giggle?
Oh, I mean, there's so much out there, and it's really easy to find something that you think will be funny, and you just give it a bash. The one I've been listening to is a podcast called Tell Me Something I Don't Know, which is basically a panel and a show styled interview show where people come on and tell a fact that people don't think they'll know, and then the presenter, who is Stephen J. Dubner, and he will say a few things about the fact, and then try and inject a bit of comedy into it. So it's a bit of comedy, it's a bit of learning something new, and then there's a crowd there who make it good. So it's a mix of people from like science, academia, sports, media, comedy, who come on and are either guests on the show and present it. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's good. I would definitely recommend it.
Just reiterate the name there, Greg. I don't know if it was clear enough.
Yeah, it's Tell Me Something I Don't Know.
Tell Me Something I Don't Know. Yeah, I don't think I've really heard of it. It's not something I don't look at podcasts that often, to be fair. I'm a TV, sort of Netflix, YouTube.
So what have you been looking at?
Well, I think the biggest one will be quite enjoy and glad to see The Office, not the British Office, I'm not a big fan of. However, the American Office has made its way back onto the British Netflix. and it has been binge watched for the last week and a bit, and it's been hilarious. The gym, or just the whole cast and the way they do it, it's just hilarious. They have a great laugh. If any of you have watched it before, or if you've not watched it, I recommend you go watch it. It is a really good watch. You'll certainly have a laugh watching it. Have you seen it, Gregor?
Yeah, so good. First time I saw it was first year of uni when I was on Netflix, and obviously it got removed. And yeah, I just remember watching it with like the projector in first year, with your flatmates, and it's just 20 minutes, easy show to just pop on for 20 minutes. But the danger is it's 20 minutes. And if it was an hour long, you'd maybe watch one, but because it's 20 minutes, you end up watching 5.
3.
And then you're there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, such a good show.
I think the best thing about that show is probably the memory of me watching it. So as you said yourself, first year uni, you started watching it, and then that's you actually. I'm sure it was you that told me about it, and so I started watching it. And at that point, I was in, I think I must have been third year at high school, and as I was in high school, I've always been entrepreneurial, like the idea of making some money. So what I've decided to do is.
You're picking up Rebecca? Hello.
Yeah.
You have to go and pick Rebecca up.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll take a wee interlude, end the video, and we'll come back for season 5. Okay, well, sorry guys for this. If you're listening, there's a wee interlude. Take a wee break. Go get yourself a cup of coffee, and we'll be back in 15.
I mean, technically, it's going to be like a second break when they're listening to, because it just for us it'll be a bit long.
Yeah, cool. End the recording. I'm going. I'll be back.
Okay, right. I'll speak to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back. Sorry for the wee interruption. I forgot I've got priorities of picking up my girlfriend from work, and then realising my car was about to run out of fuel, and I went, oh no, I need to go to a petrol station, and then the petrol station turned into McDonald's, and before you know it, I'm having a wee munch.
Really? Because I was going to message you at past, like you've been gone for half an hour. I thought, yeah, you'll be back by now. So I'll wait, and just in case you're doing something.
So I end up with a wee Mackies and stuff. So apologies for that, guys. Anyway, let's crack on with the rest of the podcast. So we're on comedy, where we're talking about everything that's basically funny, what we've enjoyed, and we're on The Office. I think we kind of went over Office, basically love the show, and I was about to talk about basically my story of why it kind of means a bit more to me. When I was younger, I basically said entrepreneurial, like doing things like that, buying, selling stuff like that. So I started a tuck shop at school selling sweets and juice and crisps. And I remember going to Costco, Randy Sandra had a Costco card, and went to there, bulk bought the sweet tubs that you would see in like a sweet shop, and you pick and mix, bought them, and bought the bags, and was sitting making my own wee 50 pence pound bags to take them to school and sell them. And while doing that, I was watching The Office, and it's the best memory I've got of something I enjoyed doing, but also a comedy show that made me laugh. So, yeah.
I think that's pretty cool as a story, or a good memory.
I told my supervisor, so I'm at final year at uni doing my dissertation, and my supervisor told him about it, and he was just like, brilliant, love it. Love to hear stories like that, and we touch up business, we side things, and it's quite funny.
People love that stuff.
Yeah. Is there anything else you've been watching or listening to that's been recently, or anything funny?
The flat are watching. Well, they're watching Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek. Not heard of it. What's it about?
Basically, about this like really rich family who go through like hard time and then lose all their money, and then I don't know if they own the town or they did own the town or something like that. But it's won like loads of
awards.
Yeah. And it's actually I haven't watched it from start to finish, but every time people are watching it, it's you watch an episode and it's good. Just easy watching. It is funny. So yeah, I guess I'd recommend that, but I guess I need to watch more of it to get it. But yeah, when it's on, it's good.
That's pretty good. I think I don't think I've been watching anything in particular comedy wise, but recently watched the film called Tag.
Oh yeah, I need to watch it actually.
It was a Netflix film. It's on Netflix, and it's just about these older guys basically playing tag, but they've been playing it for a long period of time. And if you've not seen it and you're planning to see it, I would recommend it. I'm not gonna say too much more. We'll discuss it once you've seen it, Gregor. But
I'll try and watch that maybe this week.
Yeah, get it on next episode. But so we'll move on to our final question for today's podcast, and it is, what sport have you been up to? Obviously, we're in a pandemic. We're back into another lockdown. It's lockdown number 3. Government have put restrictions in place, so you've got an hour a day of exercise to be available to you. What have you been doing for your hour, Gregor?
To be honest, not an awful lot, and you do feel the weather's good outside and stuff, and okay, it's cold, and you kind of regret. It's freezing, and even just like going outside for a walk is quite good. But yesterday I went for a cycle near the Pentlands in Edinburgh, and yeah, it was turned out put it on Strava, just under 12 miles. It's like at Pentlands, and it's as soon as you get anywhere near a slope, it gets that icy, almost sludge. And yeah, I mean, made out to this I was actually aiming for like this reservoir, but didn't get there because of the ice. But yeah, it was good to get. It was like just over an hour or something on the bike. Cold. As soon as I got out first, literally got out the door, and as soon as you pick up a wee bit of speed on the bike, I normally have a buff on for my ears or like my neck, and the cold wind. Oh, it was like freezing. It was like somebody pinching my ears because it was that cold, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna, you're thinking, I'll turn around. I'm not on for this. But if you just kept going, can I like actually forget about it? And quickly my ears aren't sore, probably because I'm too numb, and just continue. And yeah, I'm glad I did because it was a nice cycle.
It's sort of that situation where like once you actually get out and you do something, you just feel so much better for it. I think for me now with dissertation and doing other stuff and trying to keep myself like activated or mentally activated inside the house, I get distracted and actually, I've missed the opportunity to maybe go out and do sort of stuff. But I think for me, the best thing I've been doing is boy up the street from me, from our house, I'm at home, started to play golf. So he's quite young. He's a bit younger than me, starting to play golf. Me and Gregor are avid golfers, played for a long time. And I basically a while back said to him, if you want to learn, if you need any tips, or if you want to play a round of golf, just give me a message. And about 2 weeks ago, he said to me, do you want to play a round of golf? Looked outside and was like, hell no. It was frost, it was icy, it was freezing.
Oh, was it a nice day though?
Yeah, it was a nice day. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, oh, come on. And I was like, fine. And so went up, and I'm so glad I did, because now we've played a couple of rounds now together. The course it's all practice greens and, not the full course and stuff like that, but, it gets you out, bit of exercise. And I'm seeing him develop for me, giving me tips, stuff like that. And it's quite satisfying for going out and playing and getting just, a bit of enjoyment, get a wee laugh with someone else and stuff.
It's like making new friends, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to obviously help with the juniors section in the coming year.
Are you going to help out with the medals and stuff?
Yeah, so the Allo Golf Club's currently obviously run by the greenkeeper does the multiple jobs. So the head of the green at the Allo Golf Club does multiple jobs, and he's currently running the junior section as well. But the plan is I'm going to try and help out with turning up to the medals, setting them off, making sure they know what they're doing, and just keep them on track, help them where I can. If they're going
I think you'll be really good at that.
If they're going to competitions away and stuff, obviously with restrictions, hopefully when things ease up, I can either be lifts as well, fortunately enough to have a car. Some of these kids obviously still got parents that are working and stuff, so might be able to give help out there as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Gregor, we were so lucky with the people of support we had around us from other people organising and setting up these events, and I just feel sad now that there's not that. I don't think it's not the same. I don't think there's not enough support for it, and the people who are looking to support it are older, and younger people are going, I don't want to go, we need a lot more people our age, be out there doing their bit to try and help to support and
Yeah,
improve it. So it's what part of my study for my dissertation I ended up doing, finding out that over 80% of Grangemouth Golf Club members are over 50.
that's
And in that
crazy.
relationship, it's just, 50 years from now, where's the next 50? How do these clubs survive in the next 10, 20 years when these people maybe start retiring and from golf and not want to go down the route? So, our club,
Yeah.
we had a total of 7, 8 juniors that would play consistently when you should have about 40, 50. It's something to sort of thought about, but anyway, for sports for this week, it's been golf and a walk for me. But golf's been the most enjoy that bit of satisfaction from that.
Yeah, no, that's good, Jerry. I think you're right with the golf stuff. There's definitely room for growth in the younger age group because obviously, young people aren't playing, and it's such a good sport to learn
Yeah,
and teach you so much. And I think there is like a culture out there where it's older people playing and it's older gentlemen or women who typically join the club and have it as a pastime when they're retired.
yeah.
But I think that's almost should be disappearing. Like you look at the golfers that are coming through, like on TV and stuff, they're a lot younger and a lot more sports focused. It's not like you're still got the same stereotype as what it was.
Yeah, so I was one of the other students I spoke to the other day on a call. Was saying to me that, and he's from Austria, and he says golf's virtually non-existent over there for his age group. He says just doesn't have anybody playing it. He doesn't know anyone that plays it and stuff. So the aspect of obviously our golf courses per capita is really high. Like we've got like a really, it's like 9,000-10,000 per capita of golf courses to the relationship. So it's really interesting to see if that will survive. How will we keep all these golf courses open if we're struggling to get these members in? We're at the top of the list now for per capita of golf courses to obviously people, but that could slowly disappear. Yeah, I think one of the things I thought is a way of developing it is people don't want to do something for nothing. A lot of these days, they want something from it. They want, unless you're specifically going to be for fitness stuff, you're going to go do fitness stuff and you're going to go do these specific sports. But to get golf's interest in the younger generation, there has to be something for it, I think. So my idea was like how you see these raffling competitions, you see these people do like such as BOTB, who would do these car giveaways and things like that.
Yeah.
Sort of similar sort of style of that. It's like if you were to, the money that goes into these is collected for a prize, either for like the month. So the juniors could, play for the month and go, oh, well, this month's prize is going to be this much or this thing, as long as you play and we get enough people interested, things like that. I just think there needs to be more interest in the way that the people go about developing it for that generation.
I think it is a, I don't think a lot of people, unless you're obviously family play golf, but if you're to tell people how does a handicap work, how do you score, how many holes are there, what are the rules, because it's like a book yay thick. It's a thick book for the rules and all these sort of things. Like education is a big part of golf.
Have you got a book? Sorry to interrupt. I'm just having a wee look about the background. As you can see, Gregor's got a lot of artwork and a lot of things up in his background, which is quite interesting. Sorry, completely.
I've got pictures of you on the back. There's you.
You've got a book with my name on it.
Yeah, I do. I got about 3 books with your name on it, Jerry.
Aye. See, I'm not popular, guys. If you know me, my name's Jamie McEwan. I've got a YouTube channel. Get a like, subscribe, and follow.
That's what we should talk about in our next one. Your channel.
Yeah. So anyway, to be fair, we're kind of rambling on now. We're continuing on. So we'll talk about it next week. So next week will be basically every Sunday videos will be going up with the podcast going up at the same time. Our name will be McEwan Brothers. If you give us a wee follow or subscribe on our YouTube channel, it would be much appreciated. And next week we'll have three different topics once again for us to talk about. And if you've got any ideas, any comments, anything you want to say about this, please give us a comment below or let us know. Get in touch with us. Yeah. Any last comments, Gregor, yourself?
Nah, I think this is like obviously first one and just going to see where it takes us. So yeah, join the journey or whatever. And we hope
Well,
you enjoy it.
This might be the worst podcast ever, but it's only going to get better. Okay, well, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, see you next week.